Welcome back to day 4 of our daily vlog series from Perth to Exmouth. This morning we are waking up at Brabudju or 9 Mile Camp and it is very beautiful. We're going to make some coffees and then we're going to hit the road, continue up the 4-wheel drive coastal access road all the way to Yardie Creek, where we're going to camp just south of that at the 1K campsite, which we've got booked for tonight. We're going to do the Yardie Creek crossing tomorrow. Well, we'll see. We'll see how deep it is. For right now though, let's make some coffees before we get on the road.
It's very hot. So Jess was kind enough to make avocado on toast, but she didn't toast the bread, so it was just avocado on bread. So I'm toasting it. I'll need a plate to put it on.
Sure, please. Oh, delicious soggy cardboard. Yesterday, when we filled up the fridge with ice, we did consider but tried to ignore the consequence of what would happen to that ice, and now we are faced with dealing with that.
Day 4.
So this morning I told you that we were about to head further up the 4-wheel drive track onto the 1K campsite. That plan changed a little bit because we realized we needed reception to be able to upload our first vlog, because we told you we'd be getting that out to you guys today. So we actually ended up heading back along the little bit of the track that we'd done into Coral Bay, where we spent, what, 4 hours? Well, it's past 2 p.m. now, it's 2:20 in the afternoon, so we spent a fair bit of time finishing exporting and uploading that video at the Coral Bay pub, and now we're headed back to the 4-wheel drive track to do the whole thing all at once
And get all the way to Yardie Creek.
We were last in Exmouth and we drove down to Yardie Creek to have a sup and asked some people where this track went, and they told us that we could never do it in our T1 and that it was one of the roughest tracks in Australia. What do you think, guys? Roughest track in Australia? Off of the access to Yardie Creek 4-wheel drive road, and we're hoping it takes us to see the beach.
Stop just there, like on the landing.
Sure. You don't want to go down to the beach?
Ooh, it looks like the tide's pretty high, so let's walk first.
It's kind of cool, isn't it?
Yeah. So as we drive down this bumpy track, as I've said all trip, I am shocked at how green this country is. We could be in a meadow in England for what it's worth. There's like long grass between the tracks and on the edges, and it's like prairie grass. You know, it's green and luscious. It's better than my backyard at home. What have we come across?
Well, there are 2 roads and one of them has a tree in it, and that's the one I'm on. So I'm going to cross over to the other road. We parked up near a Hilux that we saw parked up. So thought, yeah, this is a good parking spot. Turns out the Hilux was not just parked up here.
That sucks. Someone's complete pride and joy. Well, gotta be safe out here. Hopefully they're all okay. Looks like all the airbags went off. This is just immense. It's one of those things you're gonna look back on years from now and go, the last time I came up here, it looked like the Windows XP background with anthills.
Here, we have a lone termite mound in its natural habitat, right next to a road, with many friends in sight, but none close by. These mounds are built out of the excrement of the termites, and they can grow very, very tall. This one here is almost as tall as myself.
It's good being on the road, going somewhere, or on a full drive track, you know, this is what it's about. Spirits have definitely lifted from this morning. When we're having battery issues, we're having fridge issues, but man, we've just turned it all around.
Literally, when we turned around, it all turned around.
Yeah. It doesn't get much better than just cruise in the middle of bush, with the ocean on one side of you and mountains on the other. Well, I found it. I found what I'm looking for. It only took, well, it's 6 o'clock now. It's only taken 4 hours driving and I found it. Red dirt and spinifex. We're in Australia for sure. It's cool though. Even the spinifex is green. At least the dirt is red too. Now it feels like home. They shoot the ground from a plane. Or maybe they shoot other planes.
But we're on the ground.
We are on the ground. We're a target. They have fun doing it. That little kid in that car just waved to me. Absolutely magic. This light just works so well with the terrain. Here we go, 6Ks to 1K. And it's just barely still light. My God, these corrugations are pretty bad. I don't think they've ever graded this road. Ever.
Bye, buddy.
Creek crossing risk.
Oh, look at it. Look at the creek tonight, boys.
Is this it? Have we made it?
I don't know where we are.
That's the other side of Yardie Creek. We've been here before.
That's Yardie Creek.
That's Yardie Creek.
Where is the 1K campsite?
That's a good question. We might have driven straight past it. I think we should have a squiz on Wikicams and suss the situation. Well, we don't really want to cross Yardie Creek tonight, even though it looked very dry.
Very dry.
Very dry but wet, which means I think the tide must be out at the moment. So we'll go back a kilometre, looking closely at Wikicams, and hopefully find 1K camp. That's a bit embarrassing. Alright, we found the turn off and we're heading in now. I think it's pretty close. I don't think it's too far off the road. It's June. There we go, Cape Ridge camping area. No fires or they get you in big trouble.
This silly boy over here booked the campsite and did not download the booking before we left into no reception. We've parked up in camp number 6. We couldn't find the booking, but pretty much all of the bays are empty, so if we have accidentally taken someone's, I'm sure they'll find another one.
It's pretty windy here, but I think it's all coming from that direction. So if we set up the table on that side of the car, we should be good to cook dinner. It's vegetarian nachos since all our meat's gone off. So we're starting with a base of black beans, and we got some spices, ground cayenne pepper, cumin, paprika, and chipotle seasoning, which is a bit of a cheeky one. It's hot too. Just like GU patrols. The engines, that is. Alright, since these are getting baked, we don't want them too dry. We'll tip them out of the pan for a moment. And we got yellow corn tortilla strips. Gee, after all those corrugations, they're mostly crumbs, not chips. Taste test. And cover them with cheese. Melting right away, that's what you like to see. Black beans can go straight back in. Lid on, and we let them bake. Watch that cheese melt. Beautiful. A little bit of red onion. Salsa first. Bit of salsa. I'm surprised Jess isn't cooking this. She has some experience with Mexican food. Capsicum. I mean, not that this is really authentic. Coriander on top.
I'm just gonna pop some Greek yogurt on it. There we go. And a touch of lime juice for that bit of citrusy edge. And then, just try some. No better. Yeah, that's good. With a full plate of nachos in front of me, this is how I'm gonna say goodnight to you. It was a long and frustrating morning, but then a fun afternoon, doing a bunch of forward driving, and now I'm ready for a nice dinner and some rest. And then tomorrow we'll cross Yardie Creek, get on to Yardie Homestead, our next camp, maybe duck into Exmouth town to fix up the battery system, but it's going to be a good day. Come back and check it out.